Hey, welcome to another video with your friendly technician, Ed Kirkland. Today, we're going to work on the exact slide, and we're going to cover the cable replacement for the top interior cable on the exact slide. For this process, our first step will be to run the room all the way in. Changing any of your interior cables requires the room to be fully retracted. This is the inside of your room. Room's fully retracted. Our first step is going to be to remove the full length jam clamp. Notice that this is our trainer mock-up, so we only have a little section of jam clamp in there, but we're going to remove that and expose the interior workings of the mechanism. We'll do that with a square bit. Remove our screw from the jam clamp, and then we'll simply fold this up and out of the way and allow it to pass through the extrusion of the jam clamp to get off of the cable. Our next step, seeing that we're replacing this cable, in this instance, this cable has already been replaced on this trainer mock-up. If you notice right here, this is the end result we're going to be looking for. It usually has a ball end of your cable sitting right here in this chain connector or cable connector bracket connected to the chain. Your ferrule becomes your new ball end. How we're going to achieve this is we're going to go ahead and break the jam nut loose on the top cable, because that's the one we're changing. Remove that, set it off to the side so you don't lose it. For this to happen, you also may have to remove that front fascia board to gain access to this bracket. Not always, but in most cases you do. That's already done for you on this trainer mock-up, so we'll just show you the right way from this point. Take my 3/8 coupling nut and my flat washer completely off, hang on to those. Pull the cable up out of the standoff bracket and then through the cable guide. And from this point, we're going to use the nylon mesh, seeing that we have to go through a double set of pulleys to get everything to pull through here. We're going to use the nylon mesh to pull the new cable through. I'm going to wrap one little piece of tape around the end of the cable where it's good. And be careful not to build that up too much, because this needs to go through the pulleys, and the pulleys are designed for the 5/32 cable only. Any more than that, it's going to want to grab on you and pull apart or get stuck halfway through. From there, I'll cut through the center of the tape. Now, the tape's just there to help hold all the strands together, where it's easier for me to get the nylon mesh on. Once that's out of the way, the repair kit you're looking for is 217-00146. Those are for any of your interior cable replacements for the exact slide. In the kit, I'll pull out my nylon mesh. It's 24 inches in length. You don't have to use all 24 inches of this nylon mesh. As long as you can get nylon mesh at least 3 inches or so onto the old cable and onto the new cable, that should be more than sufficient. In this case, we're going to go ahead. It's like a Chinese finger trap. When you push on it, it opens up. When you let go, it goes back to tight. We're going to slide this up over the end of the bad cable that we're going to try to replace. And like I said, 3 to 4 inches on there, more than enough to achieve what we're trying to do here. We're going to take our electrical tape and we're going to start on the mesh and work our way down to the cable. Being mindful that we don't build up the tape. How you do this is you go in a long diagonal pattern, just a couple inches up onto the mesh. And as you're wrapping around, cinch it down on there, and your next pass should be tape over mesh, not tape over tape. Tape over tape builds it up and allows everything to get stuck in the pulleys as you're pulling the new cable through. So long diagonal patterns. And then once you get to the cable, if you want to wrap that up a couple and overlay it, that's fine there. You can test it, make sure it's nice and tight. I told you you didn't need to use all 24 inches. We're not going to do that. I'm just going to hack off the rest of that. I don't need all this. Now in your kit, we're going to pull out the new cable. And your interior cables have the stud replacement that's needed for the standoff bracket. We'll unwind it. We're going to shove our new stud through the top slot. See, we're on the top cable and right through the cable guide. A new one will come in the kit. So if this is damaged or it's not staying in position and locked in, you can use the new one. I'm going to bend it 90 degrees and back down into the standoff. And then from there, I'm just going to get my flat washer and my new adjustment nut out of the packaging. And I'm just going to slide that on just a little bit, about half the nut, just to hold it in place to where it doesn't fall off of there. Now I'll take the welded end or soldered end of my cable. You can tape this up if there's any sharp edges. Not necessary, but you can do that if that helps you. Slide that in the other end of the nylon mesh till it butts up and meets the old cable. Now we're going to repeat the taping process. Once again, going from the nylon mesh down to the new cable. Long diagonal patterns to avoid buildup of tape. It could prevent us from getting this new cable through. Now that everything's ready to be pulled through the system, there would normally, once, like I said, this is a trainer mock-up, it's already been changed once, there would normally be a ball end right here to grab a hold of in this event. I don't have that. I have my ferrule, which is what we're going to end up with when we're all said and done. I'm going to grab a hold of that cable, and as soon as it starts to grab, I'm going to give it a quick jerk and pull the new cable through the system. Pull all your slack out. If you can locate your tape, the end of your tape, go ahead and remove the tape from the end of the new cable. So now I got the tape removed from the cable. Pull the old cable in the nylon mesh, toss that to the side. In your kit, you're going to have a new ferrule. From this point, we're going to slide the ferrule over the cable. We're going to try to set it up in place and try to get it locked into the bracket where the ball end was located, just like so. We want to ensure that we can get all this slack out, so we may need to pull out on the stud. There, that allows us to get a little bit more slack out of that cable. Want to get as much of it as possible. Now we're going to take, with all the slack pulled out and the ferrule locked in place in the cable connecting bracket to the chain, we're going to take the tip and slide the other end up through the ferrule until it hits. Hanging on to everything and making sure you're applying pressure. Now take your vice grips and you can hold this all in place. And then at this point, this doesn't matter if you catch the other cable, because we're going to cut that loop out of there later on. That's going to hold everything into place. Oh, yep. Now I need to remove my cable from my interior standoff bracket so I can pull this to me and get some slack in it to where I can go ahead and crimp it in place. You may be able to achieve this by removing the nut and removing the flat washer, and then taking a pair of vice grips and grabbing this and pulling this cable out. It may be required for you to remove all the screws from the standoff except for one, and then swing the bracket back. If that ends up happening, that's not a problem. That can happen from time to time, especially on the bottom cables if you're changing those. go ahead and pull our cable through the standoff. It's going to allow us to go ahead and grab this and pull some slack back into the system and allow us to add our 3 crimps. Remember, 3 crimps with a 5/32 crimp are required to put the cable back at the 2,000 pound threshold that the original was tested at. If you're using multi-crimpers, I am not, but if you are, ensure that you're using the slotted area designed for a 5/32 crimp. So we're going to go on the outside edge, pinching the 2 cables together. Just like so. Take our vice grips off because nothing's moving now. Go to the other outside edge. Crimp those 2 cables together. And then one last 3rd crimp in the middle. And the crimp's complete. Next thing for us to do is to grab our cutters. And what we're going to do is we're going to simply cut the loop out from underneath the ferrule. As close to that ferrule as we can get it. Now we're going to pull our stud back to our standoff bracket, try to hook up our cable again. And we're going to try to get this seated inside the bracket. As best we can. Back through our guide. This is where it's going to be a little bit of a struggle to get everything reconnected. I don't have a lot of slack there. Use this as leverage, and we're still a little short. That's all right. This is where you may need to go ahead and remove a couple of your screws or your fasteners in your standoff bracket. And then loosen up on the last screw. In your guys' case, you're going to have 6 fasteners in here. I have a little less than that for the trainer mock-up. It's going to allow you to go ahead and make that 90-degree bend back down into your standoff. Once that's hooked up, now you can go ahead and re-add your fasteners to the standoff bracket. Now that your cable's reconnected to your standoff, you're going to want to go ahead and add your flat washer and your coupling nut. And before you do anything else, you want to ensure that you reattach your jam clamp. Once again, that should be a full-length piece. It's kind of like tongue and groove flooring. It locks in to the back side of our jam. There's a little J channel there for it to lock into, and then folds over freely to the wall. If it's not folding over freely on that full-length piece, you may have to work it and manipulate the jam a little bit, squeeze it to get it to pop in, work from the top down or down up. Once you've done that, and you've relocated everything, it's all in position, add the rest of your screws, lock it in place. Once that's complete, the room's all the way in already, so now we can go ahead and start our adjustment process. We will double check our bottom first, just to ensure that we're at proper tension on our bottom cable. And we are. From this point, we're going to go to our top cable. No need to cycle it. All the slack is out of it except for this cable up top. We're not at proper tension for the top cable. At this point, we're going to go ahead and put our vice grips on the smooth portion of the stud, and then we're going to tighten it up until we have proper tension. That's when that white little slide or black slide comes down on some of the new gauges. And that indicator lines up with the TOP top for top cable, giving you the 1/2 inch deflection that we're looking for on that cable tension. Pull your gauge off. Grab your jam nut. We're going to add that jam nut to that cable stud. In this scenario, I didn't have enough peeking out through there. I'm going to put a couple more turns on there just to where I can go ahead and get my jam nut on there. And I'm going to lock that in place with my 7/16 for the jam nut, my 3/8 for the adjustment nut. I'm just going to lock everything in place there. Nice and tight. And we're good to go there. My next step, just like in the adjustment process, anytime we've messed with anything, we've readjusted that side. I'm all the way in the retracted position. Now I'm going to hold my 2 buttons on my control box. Hold them in. Red light starts flashing, lit up. And now I'm going to go ahead and cycle my room, ensure that I'm maintaining proper timing, which is anything under 2 inches. If it's out of time, one side hits first, then the other side comes in, or in the out position, same scenario, and I'm within 2 inches out of time, that's acceptable. Within 2 inches, and I'm sealing in the out position. Now I'm going to run it back in, double check my in stroke. Within 2 inches, and we're still sealing. Once you've completed your cycles, ensuring that the room is still sealing, your cable replacement is done. Always on cable replacements, if you had to replace a damaged cable, find the root cause of that damage. If we don't repair that root damage, then this is going to be a repeat issue for the customer, and they'll be back at your shop or your facility asking for another cable change in a relatively short period of time.